Let's talk about relations. So, this conversation we're about to have about relations is going to relate into functions. Relations are what we talk about right before we start talking about functions. Um, a relation. What is a relation? At its simplest, it's a set of ordered pairs, an ordered pair being a coordinate point x comma y. So, for example, when we're drawing sets, when we're writing a set, we use curly braces to denote a set. And we could have a set of coordinate points. So let's say we have -9, 6. Maybe we have -9, 8, 2, 3, -8, 4. Just this is a set of coordinate points. So my curly braces denote that I have that it's a set, and these are the coordinate points within my set. So this is a set of 4 coordinate points, and a relation is a set of coordinate points. As a note, a graph is a relation. So a graph on the xy plane is a relation, and it has infinitely many points. So with a graph, we can't write out a set like this because there are infinitely many points in it, but a graph itself is a relation. The domain. The domain of a relation is going to be the set of x values, of the relation. So looking back at this example I had up here, the x values, -9, -9, 2, and -8. If I wanted to talk about the domain of that set to be the set of just the x values, so -9, -9, 2, and -8. Now, -9 is repeated in here. -9 is repeated twice. And when we're talking about a domain, we only list once. Domain or range, we only list a value once. So it repeats itself right here. We're just going to write it once. So the domain of this relation that I wrote up here is just the x values, what possible different x values there are. So possible x values in this relation are -9, 2, and -8. The range of a relation is the set of y values. So just kind of what you would think, there's a set of x values, there should be a set of y values as well. So we look back here at our relation and we get all these y values, 6, 8, 3, and 4, and that will be the range of that relation. So 6, 8, 3, and 4. So this is what we call a discrete relation. Discrete means that you can count the number of points that are in this relation, whereas with a graph, we can't count all the points. We can't look at all the points like this and list all the values, all the x values, all the y values. So for graphs, when we're talking about domain and range, we're giving our answers as intervals of x and y values. I'll make a note right here of that. Move that down. So just a quick visualization of that example. This is the same example from above. We had said that the domain just make them a little tiny, that the domain had the values -9, 2, and -8, and that the range had values 6, 8, 3, and 4. So I'm going to go ahead and take the domain, and I'm going to put the domain over here. And I'm going to take the range and put the range over here. And we're going to show a quick visualization of a relation and how the domain gets, what we say is mapped. It gets mapped to the range. Oop. Okay. So the values in my domain, I have -9, 2, and -8. These are the different x values. And then in the range, I have 6, 8, 3, and 4. The values in the domain, these are all the possible x values. They get mapped, they get sent to a y value in the range. So for instance, with -9, -9 comma 6, -9 gets mapped to 6. -9 comma 8, the -9 in the domain, the x, gets mapped to the y value 8. 2 comma 3, 2 in the domain gets mapped to 3 in the range. -8, 4, -8 is mapped to 4. So every value in the domain is mapped to a value in the range. Right? We don't have coordinate points that are like 2 comma nothing, right? There has to be a value over here. So we can always make a map like this when we're talking about relations and also when we're talking about functions, which is going to be in the next video. But we don't have empty coordinate points, right? We don't have a coordinate point with an empty y space. There's always an x and a y, which means every value in our domain is always able to be mapped to a value in the range. So this is the introductory part of what will be eventually functions. So check out the next video where we talk about what is a function, how do we use this weird idea of a relation and a domain and a range, and what's important about it. All right, see you in another video.